This is Matthew Cratter from Trader University, and today I want to ask you, is your crypto collaborating with government spy coins? Of course, we're talking about CBDCs, which stands for Central Bank Digital Currency. I think a better way of thinking about these, though, is as government or central bank spy coins, because they put central bankers and anyone who can get access to the data through the central bank, they put these people in control of everything. So if you'd like to help build a digital prison for your children and grandchildren, then CBDCs are for you. Using CBDCs, central banks and their governments can track every single transaction that you make. No more physical cash. No need to ask for records from banks or credit card companies. Governments can just watch everything that you do in real time on the government blockchain. And it's tied to your identity directly on that centralized blockchain. Very, very different from Bitcoin. Government can instantly turn off your money if you say the wrong thing online or vote for the wrong person or thing. Government can use CBDCs to control how much electricity, how much meat, etc. that you buy, whatever they want to control or ration. So CBDCs are very evil, nasty things, and they will be abused because they can be abused. There's a great example of how this is happening in China already. This isn't science fiction. China's surveillance state starts from the digital ID. Citizens have to apply for an ID card, which obviously contains all the normal personal information, but also contains biometric information such as photos, facial features, palm features, fingerprints, DNA, etc. And then your money, your CBDCs in your digital wallet, probably on your phone, gets linked to this digital ID. Face scanning for access to lunch in this cafeteria, the cost of the meal is automatically deducted from their bank accounts via their digital wallets. So this is the brave new world we are moving into. And this money also can have an expiration date, so they can force you to spend it, in which case you would not be able to save it. I think Alex Gladstein does a great job of summing these things up here. What we see in China today is the inexorable conclusion to all CBDC experiments. Expiration dates on your money. Beyond that, limited or no access for government critics to the money. Negative interest rates. They can attach whatever interest rate they want to your money. Restrictions on amount and type of food and energy that you can buy. This negative interest rates thing is extremely important as well, because if you are holding cash, for example, in a vault in your house, which isn't the best way of storing your wealth, it's not nearly as good as Bitcoin, but if you're doing that, at least you are just, there's some opportunity cost, your money is being inflated away. But if that were in a CBDC government wallet, they could apply a much steeper loss of purchasing power to that. So they could say it loses 20% every year and you have to spend it within 2 years or less than that. So there's a lot of flexibility. These will be smart contracts. And for everyone who loves government smart contracts, you'll get to experience this. So now that we've established what CBDCs are, we have to ask the question, if you came to Bitcoin and crypto, the crypto space in general, for freedom money, then you probably don't want to support the traders who are actively trying to collaborate with their governments and central bankers to build this digital prison just for the sake of money. And Ripple is one of those companies. Ripple is the company that issued XRP. They'll tell you that they did not issue it, but it was funny how the majority of XRP tokens happen to end up in the Ripple company's treasury. So this article points out, this is from Kitco, points out Ripple is working with more than 20 countries on CBDC plans. And if we go to the Ripple website itself, we can see central bank digital currency, secure blockchain innovation for a sustainable economy. It's really sustainable oppression is how this is going to be used. Another article from the Ripple website, innovation in central bank digital currencies. And you can see that they're still doing this. This is February of 2023, this article. You may have also seen Change the Code on Twitter and Instagram. This is a marketing campaign to move Bitcoin away from proof of work to proof of stake so that our so-called elites can control it better. And it turns out when you look into this, this obviously has the Greenpeace relationship as well, but this campaign is being actively paid for by people like Chris Larson and other people at Ripple who've made billions of dollars dumping their tokens. I'll link to Corey Clipston's great clip here about what is happening and who's paying for Change the Code and cleaning, quote unquote, cleaning up Bitcoin, because Bitcoin does not need to be cleaned up. Bitcoin uses proof of work in such a way that no one can control the can control the protocol. And if you have proof of stake, it's very easy to capture. And this is the problem that Ethereum is currently experiencing. So be sure to watch this clip. I'll link to it in the description notes below. Now, if Ripple, the parent company, does end up getting all of these lucrative government CBDC contracts, does this mean that your XRP is going to pump? There are a lot of people who are very excited about XRP because they think they're going to benefit from central bank digital currencies. Of course, this is not true because XRP is a token. It's not equity in the parent company, which would be receiving the revenues. So if Ripple is actually hired to build out all of this infrastructure, it's going to be the wealthy investors and insiders at Ripple, people like Chris Larsen and Brad Garlinghouse, that will benefit because they own actual equity or shares in the company, in the parent company in Ripple, which entitles them to a share of company earnings and dividends. Token holders of XRP have no such rights. And the real function of XRP was to fund software development at Ripple, the parent company. This is how it was used. It was used to pay for marketing. And this is another sign that XRP passes the Howey test and needs to be registered as a security. So that's the whole Ripple XRP messy side of things. Now we turn to Consensys. Consensys was started by a guy named Joe Lubin, who's also one of the co-founders, along with Vitalik Buterin. He's more of the business guy. Lubin is at Ethereum. And this is an important company. Consensys is an important company because it has all these connections to ETH insiders, also because it owns so much of the ETH infrastructure. So MetaMask is owned by Consensys, which is controlled by Joe Lubin and presumably Vitalik Buterin. And Consensys also owns Infura. It's too difficult to run your own node in Ethereum, and so it requires a lot of bandwidth. It requires a lot of storage. So very, very few people do it, and they outsource their nodes to Infura. So you can see that there's this dirty ecosystem that's controlled by insiders. The whole cryptocurrency Ethereum itself runs on proof of stake, which means that those who benefited from the pre-mine have more influence, etc., etc. Then you have Ethereum infrastructure being so important. So one way of giving you the idea that Infura is very important, whenever it goes down, it completely cripples the Ethereum network. Here's an article from November 2020. Ethereum infrastructure provider Infura is down. Crypto exchanges begin to disable ETH withdrawals. So that is the Ethereum ecosystem, and you can guess what they're working on. Here's an article from January of 2022 from the Consensys blog, envisioning a future of central bank digital currencies for everyone, everywhere. I can't imagine putting something like this on your website. This has to be one of the most evil things that I've ever seen from a corporation. And here's another example from the Consensys website, blockchain solutions for central bank digital currencies. And so Consensys is very, very interested in this area. Again, if Consensys or other parts of the Ethereum ecosystem end up building these central bank digital currencies, you're just going to be enslaved in the system. You're not going to be profiting from the revenues. That's going to be people like Joe Lubin. I assume that Vitalik Buterin owns shares directly or indirectly in Consensys as well. So this is the mess, the complete mess that the Ethereum ecosystem is. If you own or support ETH or XRP, then you are working on the side. You are helping to fund the side of the central bankers and other bad guys who are working on building a CBD digital prison for us, for our children, and for our grandchildren. It's as simple as that. By contrast, Bitcoin is this digital commodity. It's money without a corporate issuer. It's not issued by a government either. And Bitcoin is money that's not controlled by a small group of insiders like Ethereum and Ripple XRP are. And this is why only Bitcoin in the cryptocurrency space is truly freedom money. It's that combination of decentralized proof of work plus the Immaculate Conception. And it's also nice that there's no corporation or founders or someone who could be in bed with the government actively building CBDCs. When you contrast this with Satoshi, who was essentially on the run from the US government, never moved his coins, never tried to collaborate with the US government in the same way that Joe Lubin and the folks at XRP, Ripple have. You can see the difference, and you can see why only Bitcoin is true freedom money. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that subscribe and like button. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I publish my next video. And let me know your questions and comments in the comment section below. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.